8i Holdings is a Singapore-based group which conducts an investment and financial education business. Founded in 2008, the company listed on the ASX at the end of 2014. I'm Natalie MacDonald, and joining me at the CEO sessions in Brisbane is the company's Executive Director, Clive Tan. Clive, welcome back to FNN.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Clive, can you start with an introduction to 8i Holdings and also how the investment and education businesses complement each other?
Okay, 8i Holdings was started by Ken and myself in 2008 at the depth of the financial crisis. And during that time, actually, we noticed that a lot of people out there, they are panicking when the markets were coming down. But actually, the right way to look at it is to really go into the market and pick up those bargain companies. And that's what we did. And because of that, we started 8i. And also at the same time, we were also investing whatever amount of funds we could generate into the market. And actually, in a way, these two complement each other because on one hand, we are teaching the process. On the other hand, we are applying the investment process in the markets. And as we get more and more better understanding and distinction, we apply that back into our financial education business.
Let's look firstly then at the investment side of the business. Now, you recently launched a private equity division. Why open a private equity division, and what opportunities has it invested in so far?
Actually, we have, since our listing, we have always bought into private companies. Actually, value investing is not just in public companies, it's also in private companies and properties as well. And we have actually invested in Digimatic, Himmers, and I think Velocity Property. And these are the few companies that we are looking to grow them, and hopefully in the future we'll list them.
And what percentage of investments then do you expect private equity to account for over time?
Actually, that's a bit hard to put a figure to it, but currently it's at about 15%. I expect that it will grow over time, but at this stage, private equity by its nature is a bit unpredictable. If the opportunity is right, if the negotiations goes well, I think we can increase that percentage there.
And so, Clive, how have your listed equity and property investments been performing?
I think they have been doing pretty well. The progress for example, one of our companies we invested in, Digimatic, they are in the process of actually applying for a listing in Australia. And also, I think for our property companies under Velocity in Brisbane, the projects are doing well. It's just that there's some slight delays, but otherwise everything is on track.
So, Clive, let's turn to the education and training side of your business. Can you update us on your expansion into China?
Oh, okay. We have already kickstarted our expansion in China. We have gotten an office there. We have our partners in place. And I think just last 2 weeks, we actually had our program conducted in Chinese in Kuala Lumpur, had our first run to just run through whatever we need to say in the program in Mandarin. And I think it did pretty well. So I'm expecting that by the first quarter of 2016, we should be able to kickstart our operations in China.
So how many attendees are you targeting this financial year?
Well, we have the last financial year, we have 850. We are definitely going to have more than that.
So, Clive, let's take a look then at your financials. 8i Holdings recently released its first half results for 2016. What were some of the highlights?
Well, I think the main highlight must be in terms of the profits. Went up 3 times more than our previous financial year. So that's 15 million against 5 million last year. So I think in terms of what we were doing, we should be having a record-breaking year. And for next year, I think financial year FY16, it will definitely be a record-breaking year. Yeah.
Last question then, Clive. Where would you like to see 8i Holdings this time next year?
1 year from now, we expect that the company itself, in all aspects, both in terms of its financial education, the investment in public equities, as well as in private companies, as well as our property development projects, all will scale up accordingly. And not only that, they will have much more synergies between them because we are already working on the so-called subsidiaries collaboration.
Clive Tan, many thanks for the update on 8i Holdings.
Yeah, thank you.